And I think in the summer, if we make you sit outside for 3 hours, you'll all go out cursing us. So we didn't want that. So we've accommodated your classmates in other auditoriums with AC. I know this is the last frontier of hopefully not so boring speeches before you leave the university. So, and then we have Dr. Kota Harinarayana, who visited us recently. Someone who's around his 80s, and it seems like he's in his 50s, and we really love his childlike energy. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and coming. He's smiling even now, so that is his built the light combat vehicle Tejas, which you may have heard of. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. And Miss Vanisri, she started acting when I don't do, like, it's not polite to tell a lady's age, but yeah, she started acting around the time my father was born. So can you just imagine? And thank you, ma'am. And my father-in-law's father acted with her for more than 10 movies together. Yeah. And I was just with my father-in-law, Balakrishna Garu, recently, and he was saying that, and we were discussing that she's one of the great Mahanatis of the Telugu film industry, and very thankful for you to accept our invitation and coming here, madam. There are some members in the audience who are here only to see you. They don't really care about the graduation, but they want to see you. So we're thankful to you for coming. To the students, we have more speakers. So I think just 2-3 things. As you graduate here as alumni, please register and stay in touch with your home institution. Your journey with Geetam has not ended. One part of it has ended, but there are many more parts, so stay connected with us, be alumni. And as you go out into the world, I think 2 things that I'd like to ask you. One is, whatever you want to do, first try to find it. And once you find it, please dream big. Don't dream small. And sky is the limit, right? There's a saying, right? You aim for the sky, at least you'll reach the top of the building. So I would urge all of you to dream as big as you can, wherever you're going, whatever you have studied, whatever is your passion. And as you dream big, please don't take shortcuts, because it's become usual for me in my speeches to remind myself and remind you all of everything that you have been through, COVID and online exams and online classes, and the amount of integrity you have all displayed, which is inspirational to your classmates. It's okay. It's over, right? But life is not like that. And if you take shortcuts for success, in the short term, it seems good that you're achieving your targets. But believe me, you're building a building with very poor foundations, and it is going to collapse. So I think the dreaming big should go hand in hand with your values, your identity, who you are as a person, what you're willing to compromise on. Because it's not just, as the VC mentioned, not just about your parents, it's your society, it's your alma mater, it's your friends. You should wear this badge of Geetam with pride, and you should display and conduct yourself in a manner where tomorrow when somebody says that a Geetam student is working with me or a Geetam student is employing me, and we're very happy with that person, we're inspired by that person, it gives us a lot of joy. So please remember that there are a lot of role models around us that show us that it's easy to take a shortcut, or we should also take a shortcut. The temptation is high. Resist that temptation. Do the right thing. Stand for what the right values are. Remember that you're an institution that speaks about Gandhian values. I can't say that everybody in this institution practices Gandhian values, but change begins with you. And I really have high hopes on you all. So wish you all the best. And this session will be, we aren't unfortunately able to invite every one of you on stage in this particular session, but I'm sure that in their respective institutions, hopefully they should have planned that. Thank you.
మీరందరూ ఇక్కడ బాగా చదువుకుని డాక్టరేట్ తీసుకోవడానికి తీసుకుంటున్నారు. కానీ వాణిశ్రీకి డాక్టరేట్ ఏమిటి అని నేనే క్వశ్చన్ చేసుకున్నాను. అంటే మీరంతా 5 సంవత్సరాలు 10 సంవత్సరాలు 15 సంవత్సరాలకి మీరు పిహెచ్డీస్ తీసుకుంటారు. కానీ నేను 50 ఏళ్ళు 54 సంవత్సరాలు సినిమాల్లో నేను పనిచేసి అక్కడ నేను ఎల్కేజీ దగ్గర నుంచి పిహెచ్డి తీసుకున్నాను. అది రికగ్నైజ్ చేసి ఈ రోజున ఈతమ్మ యూనివర్సిటీ నాకు డాక్టరేట్ ఇస్తున్నారని నేను అనుకుంటున్నాను. నాకు కొంత ఆర్థిక పరిస్థితి బాగుందనుకనే ఒక రిమోట్ విలేజ్లో ఒక స్కూల్ కట్టించాను. 30 అంటే ఒక రిమోట్ ఫారెస్ట్ అనుకోండి, బయ్యన్నగూడెం. అక్కడ నేను ఒక 30 బెడ్డెడ్ హాస్పిటల్ కట్టించాను. ఒక రిమోట్ ప్లేస్, స్కూల్ లేదు అక్కడ. 16 కిలోమీటర్లు రావాలి చదువుకోవాలంటే. వాళ్ళకి నేను అక్కడ ఒక 300 మంది ఉండి చదువుకునేలాగా ఒక స్కూల్ నేను అక్కడ వాణిశ్రీ జిల్లా పరిషత్ హై స్కూల్ నేను డొనేట్ చేశాను. చదువుతో నాకు సంబంధం లేకపోవచ్చు, కానీ చదువుకోవాలని చాలా ఉండేది. నేను ఎప్పుడూ నా చేతిలో ఎప్పుడూ పుస్తకం ఉండేది. చదువుకున్న వాళ్ళు డిగ్రీ అయిపోగానే ఆపేస్తారు, బట్ నేను డిగ్రీ తీసుకోలేదు కాబట్టి ఇవాళకి కూడా నేను పుస్తకాలు చదువుతూనే ఉంటాను. ఎందుకంటే మనిషి ఒక్కసారిగా ఎప్పుడు ఎదగడు. రోజు మనం ఎదుగుతూ 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 నేర్చుకుంటాం అన్నీ కూడా. ఒక్కసారి ఎవరు మహాత్ములు అయిపోయారు, పిహెచ్డీలు తీసేసుకున్నారని చెప్పడానికి వీల్లేదు. ప్రతిరోజు నేర్చుకుంటూనే మనం పెద్దవాళ్ళం అవుతున్నాం. కానీ నేను ఒక్క మాట మాత్రం మీ అందరికీ చెప్పదలుచుకున్నాను. మీరందరూ నాకంటే, అందరూ ఇక్కడ కూర్చున్న వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా నాకంటే చిన్న వయసు వారు. ఈరోజు అంతమంది సైంటిస్టులు అంతమంది గొప్పగా మాట్లాడారు, అంతా బాగుంది. తర్వాత మన దేశం ఏమవుతుంది, మనం ఏం తింటాం, ఇవన్నీ ఆలోచించుకునే ముందు మన పిల్లల్ని ఆక్సిజన్ సిలిండర్స్ లేకుండా, ఈ మినరల్ వాటర్ బాటిల్స్ లేకుండా మనం పెంచగలగాలి. ఎందుకంటే ప్రపంచమంతా కూడాను గ్రీనరీ గ్రీనరీ గ్రీనరీని మాట్లాడుతున్నారు తప్ప ఎవరు ఏమి చేయటం లేదు. మాట్లాడుతున్నారు అందరూ, మనం చెట్లు నాటాలి నాటాలి. నేను ఒక్క మాట చెప్తున్నాను మీ అందరికీ కూడా. ఈ రోజున నన్ను చూడడానికి వచ్చిన మీ అందరూ తల్లిదండ్రులకు కానీ, చదువుకుని డాక్టరేట్ తీసుకుంటున్న మీ పిల్లలు కానీ, నెలకు ఒక్క చెట్టు నాటండి. నెలకు ఒక చెట్టు అంటే సంవత్సరానికి 12 చెట్లు. మీరు 50 సంవత్సరాలు 60 సంవత్సరాలు మీరు బ్రతకడం కాదు, మీ తర్వాత వచ్చే తరాన్ని బ్రతికించడానికి నెలకి ఒక్క మొక్క. అది ఎలా ఉంది, అది పెరుగుతుందా లేదా అని చూసుకుని చేయొచ్చు కదా. చేయలేరా? చేయొచ్చు. నాకు పెళ్ళైన తర్వాత నాకు చెట్లంటే ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉంది, కానీ నేను బాటనీ స్టూడెంట్ లాగా ఎక్కడెక్కడి నుంచో పుస్తకాలు తెప్పించుకొని అవి ఎట్లా మల్టిప్లై చేయాలి, ఏ కలర్కి ఏ కలర్ వస్తుంది, ఎలా చేయాలి అని చాలా పూల మొక్కల గురించి తెలుసుకున్నాను. నేను చదువుకోలేదు కానీ నేర్చుకున్నాను. ఫ్లాక్స్, డయాంథస్, వర్బీనా, ప్లిమోరియా, ఒక్క పువ్వు కాదు, మ్యారీగోల్డ్, క్రిసాంతమం, ఇట్లాగా 12 సంవత్సరాలు. మా వారికి కూడా గార్డెనింగ్ అంటే ఇష్టం కాబట్టి నాకు చాలా పుస్తకాలు ఇచ్చారు. నేను అవన్నీ చదువుకున్నాను. ఇంటి చుట్టూ చెట్లు పెట్టుకున్నాను. తర్వాత నాకు తెలిసి నా చేతితోటి చాలా మామిడి మొక్కలు నాటాను. ఎందుకంటే నాకు మామిడి పళ్ళు అంటే చాలా ఇష్టం. అందుకని చుట్టూ మామిడి పళ్ళు వేశాను. మన అందరం కూడా ఏదో మన ఫలితాన్ని ఇస్తాయని కాదు, వృక్షో రక్షతి రక్షితః. మీరు గనక ప్రతి ఒక్కళ్ళు స్టూడెంట్గా అక్కడ ఉన్నారు కాబట్టి మీరు నెలకు ఒక చెట్టు అనుకోండి, నెల వెళ్ళి వేయలేరు, సంవత్సరానికి 12 మొక్కలు నాటండి. మీరు పెద్దవాళ్ళు అయ్యేదాకా, మీకు పెళ్ళిళ్ళు అయ్యేదాకా, మీ పిల్లలకి పెళ్ళిళ్ళు అయ్యేదాకా మీరు నాటండి. ఇది మనం గనక చేయగలిగితే అందరం మనం గ్రీనరీ గురించి ప్రతి ఒక్కళ్ళు ఆలోచించుకున్న వాళ్ళు అవుతారు. మొన్న ఆ మధ్యన నేను ఒక చదివాను, ఎక్కడో పేపర్లో చదివాను. ఒక ఆవిడికి ఇదే పన్నట, కర్ణాటకలోనే ఎక్కడో ఆవిడని పిలిచి పద్మశ్రీ ఇచ్చారు. ఆవిడకి వేరే ఏం పని లేదు, పొద్దున్నేసి మొక్కలు నాటడం, నీళ్లు వేయడం. చాలా బీద ఆమె, పెద్ద డబ్బున్న మనిషి కూడా కాదు. అట్లాగా వాళ్ళందరూ తెలియని వాళ్ళే అలా చేసినప్పుడు మీరు చదువుకొని డాక్టరేట్ తీసుకుంటారు, యూనివర్సిటీస్కి వచ్చారు. ఓకే, ఎదగాలి, అన్ని రకాలుగా ఎదగాలి. ఒక చోట మాత్రమే యూకలిప్టస్ లాగా ఎదగకూడదు. ఒక మర్రి చెట్టులాగా, బ్యానియన్ టీ లాగా ఎదగాలి మన మనుషులందరూ కూడా. అందరికీ అందుబాటులో ఉండాలి. ముఖ్యంగా గ్రీనరీని మీరందరూ కూడాను పాటిస్తారని నేను అనుకుంటున్నాను. మీరు ఇవాళ నాకు ప్రామిస్ చేయండి, ప్రతి ఒక్కళ్ళు సంవత్సరానికి 12 మొక్కలు. ఎన్ని చెట్లు అవుతాయి చూసుకోండి. దానికి అంటే చెట్లు నాటేసి వచ్చేసాం, అయిపోయింది, ఫోటో తీసుకున్నాం, ఇప్పుడు సెల్ఫీలు వచ్చేసాయి. ఫోటోల కోసం కాదు, మన మన ముందు తరాలు, మనకు వెనక వచ్చేటువంటి మన తరాలందరూ ఆక్సిజన్ సిలిండర్ లేకుండా పిల్లలు ప్లాస్టిక్ బాటిల్తో నీళ్లు తాగకుండా ఉంటే మనం ఆరోగ్యంగా ఉన్నట్టే లెక్క.
Our chief guest made a wonderful statement about the destroyed the whole environment. With all the great technologies were done through industrial revolution 1, 2, 3. Okay? But I think it is the year or the decade, or you can say 5 decades, are the decades of India. World over it is recognized. I have yet to see, I was mentioning to your Vice Chancellor, I have yet to see an unintelligent India. They may be not what you call motivated, this all, but there are no unintelligent Indians. I have yet to see that. Okay, I spent at least 60 years active life working with hundreds and thousands of people. So I do believe you are all intelligent, you are all capable, and now is the opportunity for us to completely relook at science and technology. It's a wonderful opportunity. What all damage the Western world has done, we can change. And we need to change. And when you change it, you become the leaders. Don't be afraid of failures. It is only when you only think is fail fast. That's all what I will tell you, what you were talking about our young people to do fast, very fast. So that what other people take 1 year to fail, you do it in about 1 month. So you have 12 times time for you to fail, then you succeed. And I'm not telling you from textbooks, I'm telling you from my personal experience. And I have found when you experiment, continue to experiment with complete confidence, I have no doubt in my mind you will succeed. And I am looking forward to the students, the faculty and all taking the lead in technology, science, technology, management. You have to learn both together. Technology, and I am happy Gita is called Gandhi Institute of Technology and Management. Once again, I just want to make one statement. Madam is now my co-recipient. I have seen all her movies. So I'm happy to see her personally. Thank you.
So how are we going to make processes green? We don't disturb the planet and see that global warming doesn't happen. We don't require air conditioning and all will be well. And that all depends on how technologies will develop from today onwards. And you are going to be those technology leaders from tomorrow, once you leave this campus. So please take a message today that when you go out, don't look at the technologies which were done before. Maybe you can look at them and see what are the challenges those technologies have and what changes you should do so that they become greener, sustainable. Remember, India is a signatory for net zero emissions by 2070. 2070 is not too far. And remember, we need to depend on solar energy, we need to depend on nuclear energy. We really have to get out of coal. So what is that we have to do? Agriculture, as I told, as we get urbanization, now per hectare, if we are getting 10 bags of paddy or 20 bags of paddy, how can I get per hectare 40 bags of paddy? No more 2x or 1.5x, it has to be 4x now in 20 years. Otherwise, we are going to be living forever, fortunately or unfortunately. 100 years is really boring life actually. But we have to live, we have no choice but to live for 100 years. When medication happens well, vaccines are there, who knows, we give vaccine for cancer, vaccine for diabetes, maybe vaccine for many diseases. We have the Chancellor who has been an international leader from ICGB. What kind of medications we are getting, the kind of antibody treatments, the kind of immunotherapies, and who knows, I was talking to one of my allied friends from Jubilee Hills, Bharat, and they had got a grandkid. And the first thing they did was umbilical cord was deposited in a bank, stem cell bank. So people are already thinking that after 30 years, there will be a technology where one stem cell or an umbilical cord residue will enable you to grow a liver, lung, heart, brain, I don't know what all, skin. That's what people are visualizing by 30 years from now. That means you don't need a donor. If you have kidney failure, just you go to a vending machine, put your debit card, $200 is gone, a kidney comes out. I mean, I don't know how the world will look like in 30 years from now. We never thought that you could transfer money on PhonePe or a Google Pay 10 years ago. As we progress, technologies are going to be exponentially faster. No one thought before 99, when I call 99 Y2K, again I belong to the generation of old generation, 1964, born with smart red. So people who are born in 50s and 40s were standing in queue to get a cylinder, gas cylinder to my house was waited for 13 years. And my father was not a small man, he was a deputy collector. That means a reasonably well-paid employee. A BSNL telephone, we had to wait for 13 years before a telephone was installed in our house. A Bajaj Chetak scooter or a Priya scooter, waiting of 8 years. Today I have 2 SIM cards and 2 wireless, two SIM which are operating from cloud. And online you pay Jio or Airtel and you have a SIM card with you. So I never thought world will be like this in 20 years. And imagine if this is the pace at which we are working, and only 8 months ago or 1 year ago, ChatGPT has doomed on all of us. And now the faculty have a challenge whether answer is given by ChatGPT or a student. Most of you, I think, have used ChatGPT already, and who got the first rank has to be looked with suspicion actually. So those who are coming to receive the gold medals on the stage, I'm going to ask them silently, did you use ChatGPT? And he may tell honestly, or she. So I think the evolution of technology has been very different. And Homo sapiens has got this supremacy, not because we are great. We were also walking on 4 legs. Imagine our ancestors are monkeys. We were walking on 4 legs. And the genomic evolutionary process, our front legs have become shorter and shorter, and they became hands for us, and we started standing on the legs now. And that's the only difference we have from other animals. And then the only good thing we learned, or a bad thing we learned, was use a sharp object like a stone to throw from a distance and even make lion or tiger scared of us. Otherwise, if you fight tiger or a lion, forget tiger, lion, dog, only with your nails like a ape man, I don't think you can defeat even a puppy. But because you started learning to use a sharp object and throw from distance, you got supremacy on the planet. Then of course we went on to discover a gun, so you can shoot anyone from a distance. Of course beyond that we went on to now remote explosions. So this is the only reason Homo sapiens is a selfish super commander of the planet. And the responsibility we all dream for one health. Remember, when COVID pandemic has come, it has not come from one human to other human. It started elsewhere in China, Wuhan, and then it went into bat and it spread across the planet. Imagine if you don't protect the animal's health, even that can even kill you. So the responsibility of all of us is, as we progress towards 100 years of independence and third revolution of the planet or the fourth revolution of the planet, I think we need to even keep a watch on the health of animals. That's why the whole world is talking of One Health mission.
Is the very serious problem that already exists. You bravely have gone through last 2 years through a pandemic that is responsible for more than a countable 20 million deaths. My only submission, a serious submission would be this, that humans, as Professor Chandrasekhar said, is smart, it has very large size of brain, but I think through the evolution in the past 1,000 years, it has become very arrogant. The arrogance in this smart animal is the real problem. And if you follow the pandemics, You have had a pandemic every 10 years. It's just that we had a major one. So you started with HIV, you had Zika, you had SARS-1, and there is no suggestion that this will not continue. So therefore, I come to the point that I want to make to you. And the governments for the climate change, and climate change actually is a circle. It's involved with why bats have 6 pandemic out of 10 came from bats. If the bat's habitat is reduced to what it is being reduced continuously, and the human and viruses live with bats very successfully. And that's the symbiosis nature of the evolution. So when you start destroying willfully the symbiosis of nature, the results are in front of you. So without being very serious about it, and the governments will do only what governments can do. Governments will own up national prides. Government will say we've done this. But not so long back, a president of a very large country said the climate change is a hoax. It doesn't exist. And you can walk out from treaties. So the point I want to make to you and submit to you from the year that I have spent looking at the problems in education or health is something called individual responsibility. And I think that individual responsibility, governments can do what? They can walk out, they can change, they can promise. China has promised that they will reduce the increasing amount of burning of coal only by 2030. And you have to absorb that. It's not that they will cut down. They will start reducing in 2030, and so on and so forth. So it gets very serious if one talks about this. Individual responsibility and you are privileged to have come to a very fine university. Take education. Those are the values that you might carry. And these are the values I think we said that we sin, our generation has sinned. I don't know whether our generation has sinned or not. But that's what it is in front of you. So the education that you received, I personally feel you are privileged. I personally feel I'm privileged. And I think the privilege must come with some responsibility. So while governments can announce what they want to announce, whether they're big or small or do well or not do well, what can we do from the education that you receive on an individual level? I personally do not see in many problems that India faces or the world faces unless individuals and then the small cluster, then society, then villages, then panchayats, then state really start working from the bottom. Personally, I don't see this problem being resolved. We believe the science and technology will solve every problem. Personally, I don't think so. I don't think science will create it will take amazing tools. CRISPR has been produced, but CRISPR will also tinker with human embryos and will produce what you might today call unethical. And the way, if you look at the history of science, there's nothing in science that comes out in front of them, nothing. And I challenge them, nothing at all, which cannot be misused. And if it can be misused, it will be misused. So I would suggest to you, and I would put forward to you, the responsibility that you carry is just this. Go out from the university graduation, make your own assessment, what you want to do. Sun will shine for all of us, whether you've done well, whether you've gold medal or not, whether you're mid-level achiever. Set your own goals. Let not anybody else set your goals.